Only 12 people have walked on the moon. What's something that less people have done in the ocean than have strutted on the moon? Crazy, right? Only a handful of brave souls have descended to the bottom of the Mariana Trench, which is like the Grand Canyon of the sea. But why deeper? Think about it, it's like exploring another world right here on Earth. The pressure's insane down there, crushing anything in its path. So, big props to those underwater adventurers who've gone where few have dared. It's a whole different kind of space exploration, but just as mind-blowing. Perfect autobiographical memory is a medical condition known as hypothermia. A person who has hypothermia could tell you from the top of their head what day of the week any date they lived through was, and what they ate that day, and what they did on that particular day. If they saw the news that day, they could tell you the day's headlines. It's an exhausting condition to have. It's extremely rare and diagnosis is usually disputed. Only 10 case studies of hypothermia have passed peer review and been recorded in the medical literature. Joan Murray, in 1990, jumped from an altitude of 4,400 kilometers. Both of her parachutes did not open. She fell on a nest of fire ants to a large release of adrenaline, as a result of which doctors managed to resuscitate her. After several years of treatment and physical recovery, Joan returned to normal life and continued skydiving. One possibility is having climbed Big Ben on Mawson Peak on Heard Island. I think only 8-10 people have done that. Come our high softworld comments MXLH9 I Heard Island Big Ben Mawson Peak 2,745 meters 9,006 AFT. -1 our high softworld comments MXLH9 I Heard Island Big Ben Mawson Peak 2,745 meters 9,006 feet. Survive a fall greater than 29,000 feet without a parachute. Ivesna Valovio Serbian Cyrillic. Pronounced Thosna Aloate the 3rd of January 1950 - 23 December 2016 was a Serbian flight attendant who survived the highest fall without a parachute 16 kilometers 6.31 miles, or 33,330 feet. If I'm allowed to toot my own horn, I'm the only person to ever accurately forecast a tornado in Afghanistan. I had to fight tooth and nail to get that forecast approved. And by golly, it was by far the noodliest looking tornado ever. Someone downrange thankfully got a picture for me. Only 3 people have died in space as a consequence of decompression. Of spaceflight related accidents and incidents text of cosmonaut. During 20 spaceflight, the 20 crew 20 was 20 killed. Survived my asshole cousin's rendition of Ave Maria. I only survived it because I feigned a seizure. Got myself, my mother, stepdad and 3 cousins out of that room before she began bending metal with that voice. Swam the length of the Amazon, Danube, Mississippi and Yanks rivers. Org Wiki Martin Strel Text Strel 20 holds 20 successive 20 Guinness 20 World. To see 20 Friendship 20 and 20 Clean 20 Waters 22. If anyone else has had one, feel free to comment. I'm the only person in US Navy history to get a shave with the grain chit at boot camp. I was called stupid many times, but I got it. In honor of today, being the Kentucky Derby. Only 11 people have trained a Triple Crown winning horse. There have been 13 winning horses, but 2 trainers trained to winners. Pitched a perfect game in professional baseball twice. This was done by Jong for AAGPBL All-American Girls Professional Baseball League in 1951 and 1953 respectively. Scored against Mariano Rivera in a playoff game. Won for NCAA D1 Wrestling Championships. Penn State had 2 wrestlers achieve the feat this season. They are also coached by another for ex-champion. Peed on the tree in my backyard. It's only been me and some drunk guy in the middle of the night. I saw it on the camera. Pretty exclusive club. Being caught by the TSA smuggling snakes in their pants. Not really the snake part, At the TSA actually caught someone doing something. Sailed a canoe across Lake Fontana, North Carolina in January with a homemade rig using a U.S. Army surplus camouflage poncho as a sail. Stephen Callahan, in 1991, was caught in a storm on a yacht and spent 76 days on the open ocean, fighting for his life on a small raft. Since 1885, there have only been 46 marathon monks who have completed the 1,000-day challenge on Mount Hiei. What's something that less people have done? What's something that less people have done? Fewer. Shuffle a deck of cards. You are probably the first and only person to ever get that combination. I would say see my bare ass. But that school bus incident this morning shot that number way up. Those people from the video who drop a basketball into a basket from a helicopter or a huge dam, underwater backflip while sword swallowing. So far I think only one person holds that record. More people have been on the moon and fly a plane into the World Trade Centers on 11/9/2001. Flown a solo spacecraft in Earth orbit. If my count is right, only 11 flights took place. I would just like to point out that 25 of people who have walked on the moon are Texans. Bought Twitter. Killed Hitler. Exploded while trying to see the Titanic. Had sex with me. Stuck part of their body into a particle accelerator and survived to that I know of. Climbed Mt. Everest without oxygen. I believe too, but can't remember the exact number. Hit 2 grand slams in one inning of an MLB game. Fernando Tatis is the only one. Kissed on the moon. Unless ... 0 people have walked on the moon. I can't believe people buy their shit SNH. I believe fewer people have known the difference between less and fewer. Confessed to me that they had a crush was only ever the girls I didn't like. Following the damn train on that motorcycle. That's all CJ had to do, man. Only 9 people have had the same heart infection I have survived. More people have walked on the moon than winning on Takeshi's Castle. Inverse this, and you've probably got a good yo mama joke out there. Only 6 people have descended to the bottom of the Mariana Trench. Bowled 300 games 10-pin bowling on television. Jason Belmonte. Dated me, not a complaint. Happy with current relationship stuff. Be the big spoon for the first time with a girl and not get hard. Fewer than 12 people have willingly slept with Harvey Weinstein. Told the truth while standing in the hallowed halls of Congress. According to a friend, 12 people allegedly walked on the moon. Gone to the deepest point on Earth. Dom Walsh. James Cameron. Fewer have driven on the moon. Fewer have golfed on the moon. Been on a good date with me. I can count them on one hand. Jesus Christ rose from the dead and then ascended to heaven. Worked in the Trump administration for the full 4 years. Died in Space 3 on the first space station during re-entry. Been to the bottom of the Mariana Trench challenges deep. Inserted their own baby maker into their own poo-poo maker. Had sex on my birthday. Outside. During a total eclipse. Gotten the difference between less and fewer correct. Died while trying to explore the wreckage of the Titanic. Played Tetris for the nerds all the way to the kill screen. Read the terms and conditions before clicking I agree. People seen the bottom of the deepest part of the ocean. Scored a goal in the NHL during all 12 calendar months. Won an Olympic medal in solo synchronized swimming. 7. Figured out what my wife wants to eat at any given time. Broke the Stanley Cup before they took the team photo. Survived both the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Run the marathon distance in under 2 hours 1 person. Scored against Mariano Rivera in the MLB postseason. Only 1 person has ever fisted me. Does that count? Have served as president of the US more than twice.